This woman heard constant scratching noises in her head for years until doctors made a horrifying discovery that will shock you. Amanda was a young teenager who could never be at peace because she kept hearing scratching noises in her head. And after struggling with this problem for several months, Amanda finally decided to talk to her mother to find answers to all those questions. She explained that she could hear a thumping noise in her head. It was as if she could hear her eyes moving and her heart beating. Her mother took her to several doctors over the years, but none of them could understand the cause of her problem. And so they only prescribed medication to help clear her ears. But they were useless. So Amanda continued to suffer in this way for over 14 years, and she decided she couldn't live like that anymore. So she decided to get out of her hometown and start looking for a specialist who could finally solve her problem. And that's when she stumbled upon the rare Pearl, a doctor who finally understood the causes of her problem. The doctor explained to Amanda that for years she'd had a huge cerumen plug stuck in both her ears, and that he could operate, but that there was a possibility that she might lose her hearing for good. Amanda agreed. Then the operation went well, and she was finally able to hear a silence that had been complete for years. His father put a microphone in his daughter's hair, and you won't believe what he heard. Emily was a normal fourth-grade student, very happy and loved by all her friends. But when her father saw her after a school day, he realized that something was wrong. From that moment, every day after school, she was always crying. With time, the bright personality of her daughter faded away. She started to take her family and friends, becoming very aggressive. The father didn't understand what was happening, and it was getting worse and worse. Emily also started to cry before school, begging her father to leave her alone. But she changed subject every time when her father asked her what was happening, and she said she couldn't tell him. So the father decided to take things in hand and had an idea. He decided to secretly listen to his daughter's day at school. The next day, when he took her to school, he hid a small recording device in her hair. When she came home at the end of the day, he removed the device, but he didn't believe what he heard. He was furious when he heard the recording. On the recording, Emily's teacher shouted at the students and used aggressive words. The more he heard this disturbing recording, the more he knew he had to take measures against the teacher. He therefore went to the school to try to make her responsible for all these bad treatments. Despite the test, the school's management did nothing against the teacher. In addition, she also declared that the father could not do anything. Desperate by this situation, the father decided to make an online petition to try to change things at school. After having collected several signatures and testimonies from parents of students, the teacher ended up being fired. The father is now the school's principal. Child tells his mother that he has a twin at school. Then his mother breaks down and starts crying when she sees a photo of them together. Miles, 6, came home from school every day and told his parents he had a twin. At first, his parents didn't understand what he was talking about and just ignored him. Indeed, Miles was a little dreamer and loved to create fantastic imaginary stories in which he was, for example, a superhero. And he had a lot of fun doing that. That was his thing, so his parents were used to hearing stories about imaginary friends who existed only in his head. But this was the first time he'd seriously told them that he had a real twin brother who actually existed and was at school. His parents told him no, that he didn't have a twin brother and that he should stop. But one day at the class photo, Miles told his parents that he wanted to wear the same clothes as his twin brother to look like him. They were still confused because they knew he only had one child, and that was Miles. But Miles continued to cling to this twin brother story until the day his mother saw his class photo. Then she immediately broke down in tears. The boy's name was Tana, and he bore no physical resemblance to Miles. His mother quickly realized that it was a beautiful friendship that had developed between the two boys. So much so that her son Miles considers Tana to be his twin brother, who used to have imaginary friends rather than real ones. So when his mother learned of this, she was deeply moved, and that's why she broke down in tears when she saw the class photo. What this surveillance camera revealed between a pizza delivery man and a 2-year-old child shocked the world. You've already ordered a pizza, haven't you? Yeah, of course. So imagine the setting. We are in 2020, in the middle of the night, and Ryan Catterson, a pizza delivery man, goes to a family to make his usual delivery. Nothing crazy, you'll tell me, except that this guy is not just anyone. He's a Navy veteran, a hardcore guy who works for Wicked Good Pizza in West Warwick, Rhode Island. He arrives in front of the Chili's house. Lindsay, the mother, opens the door, and her 2-year-old little piece of cabbage, Cohen, wants to help. Too cute, isn't it? Ryan, careful, gives her the bag of sauce and turns the pizza box to Lindsay. She pays, leaves one to drink, and that's it. Delivery complete. Finally, it's what we all thought. But wait, you think you know what's next? Make up your mind. Because what happened next left everyone speechless. This little Cohen, this 2-year-old kid, did something that shook Ryan, and believe me, it went around the world. So Ryan leaves, thinking his job is done. But this little Cohen, this short-panty hero, follows him and stretches his arms. And then, hang on, Ryan stops sharp, turns around and takes the kid in his arms. A hug, a real one, in the middle of the night. And you know what? This hug changed his life. The Sheely family found it so cute that they shared the video online. And bam, it went viral. Even Ryan wanted to share it. But wait, it's not over. Lindsay, the mother, discovers that Ryan lost his 16-year-old daughter, Alyssa, the previous week. Yeah, you hear me right. The guy was in mourning, and this hug was like a sign of fate. Alyssa, Ryan's daughter, had mental health problems. She was bullied at school and she died in California. Ryan, he couldn't go there. He had to work. He felt alone, really alone. And he told his kids he needed a hug, and this hug, he got it from Cohen. Ryan and many other people thought it was a message from Alyssa, a sign of the universe. This plane disappeared and landed 37 years later, but it's the end of this story that's even crazier. The plane took off from New York in 1955 with 57 passengers on board, and it was supposed to go to Florida, to Miami. It was a common flight for everyone on the plane, until something happened that would change their day and their life forever. Suddenly, the Pan Am 914 flight, that was its name, disappeared from the radars, and no one in the control room managed to contact the pilot. It was almost as if the plane had just been stolen, or even that it had never existed. They then sent the flight authorities to look for the plane, but they didn't find it, and they assumed that the worst had happened. After months of research, they never found the plane. So they assumed that the plane had malfunctioned and crashed into the ocean, leaving no evidence behind. The company thus compensated all the families for all their lives lost. Then the case was closed. Until this day, May 21st, 1992. That is, 37 years later, when the air traffic controllers of an airport located in Venezuela saw something strange appear in the sky. It was a very ordinary day for the air traffic controllers of an airport located in Venezuela, when suddenly everyone noticed that a strange plane was flying in their airspace. They had a hard time understanding because the plane was not on their radar. It was then that one of the controllers received a signal from this mysterious plane. In the phone, the pilot was shouting, "Where are we? What's going on?" The air traffic controller then asked the pilot to identify himself, and he gave the coordinates of his plane, and they realized that it was the plane that had flown between New York and Miami. This made everyone crazy. But what is even stranger is that the pilots, but also the passengers, still believed in 1955. The plane finally landed, and the passengers were about to get off when the pilot refueled, and it took off. And a few hours later, it landed in Miami, where it was supposed to arrive 37 years ago. When the passengers got off the plane, they were all questioned. But the strangest thing is that none of them had aged. Then this story spread quickly in the newspapers. This attracted the attention of thousands of experts around the world, and they finally proved that all this was actually just a huge hoax.